So, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out over half a year ago. Wait, seriously, it's been that long? And I've really been wanting to talk about how wonderfully made the world is. No, I'm serious. Didn't that just come out yesterday? So let's get right into it. And keep in mind, I'm no expert. Like, in the least. So first off, the very thing you see in the game is a narrow path. In order for players to not get overwhelmed and build up anticipation for the game to come, a place to stroll along with your optional starters to help you bond with them. I think this is an excellent way to start off the game due to its simplicity, which makes it all the more effective. You can also see a branching path, a yet to be accessed area, which you can tell will be starting to open up more later. Then Nemona's house has two branching paths that lead to the same location, but shows the gradual progression being made. In the beach area, you're shown a sneak peek of the vast world, but it purposefully covered a lot. In this area though, you're given a lot of options for exploration already, with items spread out, which makes it a pretty memorable first few minutes, at least for me. Oh, it started raining. Let's hurry up then. Our first route introduces us to new mechanics, such as storing Pokeballs, though it keeps it hidden from you, by placing Pokemon in trees. It balances showcasing the old and new Pokemon, which gives the area a nice freshness to it. It's still linear, but it showcases how more open routes in past games could have looked like. Given the story taking you on different elevations, like into the cave and then to the lighthouse, it makes everything feel very fleshed out, and is actually why I believe that the beginning of the game is one of the strongest areas of Scarlet and Violet. But don't worry, there's still a lot of neat things to point out. Then at the lighthouse, we finally get to see the world awaiting us, or rather, very specifically, it shows the later areas in the background, while in the foreground, with detail, shows us what we're about to explore on the way to the school. This is one of my favorite areas of the game, so let's analyze it. We are introduced to our first town being quite small, but it's the first showcase of the cities being immersed into nature for the first time in Pokemon, or at least it was never quite like this. Being surrounded by hills, with hills intruding the town, the simplicity is the key that helps the player ease into the game, which is really crucial when creating a more open-ended game that's simultaneously aimed at younger audiences. I think it's a way of appealing to younger players while not making a difference in older players' experiences. You're given the option to explore two different paths, but that's just an illusion. These paths are nothing but tiny guidelines towards the main goal. Rather here, we're tempted to go out and explore the surrounding hills that accompany the area and catch new Pokemon living here. Then to the right, there's an entirely other huge area to explore, with Flamigos and Wiglets all around. All in the meantime, you're being teased by a much more massive and diverse world around you, and that's why this area is so beloved to me. Just because of the vastness yet simplicity it hands you, always knowing in the back of your mind that there's a lot more around the corner. But we can't be here all day or night. Let's move on. Mesagosa, a wonderful city that you can easily get lost in. Yet it is straightforward enough that you can easily find your way back to where you need to go, with its signature school towering you the entire time. It's artful and expressive wherever you go, with grand and tall and even boutique-like buildings and hidden corners all over. I think it does its job very well design-wise for a main city. And now we've entered the open world. We'll assume we go west since the story implies this is where you go for gym battles, and most people probably went there first as that's what we're used to, you know? It's pretty difficult for me to try to figure out like what type of path I should really take this video in, so let's just sort of go with the way the game sort of, I guess, intends you to go. Kind of, not really, but you get the point. What I love now is that you're free. You can either follow the path all the way to the first town or go to the windmills you see in the background. You can either cross the natural bridge into a new area, or you can go down and discover what's below the land. So many options, all with their own engaging possibilities. In fact, if you really wanted to, you can technically tower the high peaks surrounding you too. With this nice aerial view, we can see how despite the freedom to go wherever you want, and this is all true, they still keep the game easy to understand and pick up by making distinct landmarks all over to know where you are at all times, and where to go to progress. I think this is one of the unique qualities Scarlet and Violet has. Now, I don't want to get too in-depth, but the game has this all over, giving a sense of linearity to those who want it. I'm not really going to analyze the first area, but I do want to cover Cascarafa and the Lost Deserts for a moment. First off, Cascarafa, one of the most immersive cities in the game, and my personal favorite, given its creative yet natural implementation into the region, not to mention it's gorgeous, gives us the instructions to go to a small port town past the desert. This is awesome. We're given an actual mission, and while this desert isn't particularly anything complicated, it serves its purpose of creating an interesting and unique pathway to Porto Marinara. The Sado Desert has really strong Pokemon, and I think it's one of the few perks of the game not having level scaling, because I can't be the only one who couldn't be the Paradox Pokemon here, right? In any case, I love it. Now that we've covered a good bulk of the western side of the region, let's go east, because I can simplify the rest of the area too as, yeah, I love it, you know, with all of its rocky caves and stuff. It's nice, but again, I don't want to spend all day here. And also, I forgot to mention the 2 bonus areas that are completely optional, being the swaps to the right and more grassy terrains to the left. Both offer excellent exploration and is the least linear of all the areas, allowing for those who want to see how that looks to get their fill too. I had a lot of fun just exploring before I took on the gyms. But now, on to the east. These rocky cliffs once again follow the formula of an open area that has clear landmarks towering over it to give the players ease of mind while exploring. I still love the compromise being made between linear and open, and it's just right in my opinion. There are winding paths and many different elevations to explore, whilst doing parkour to get from one platform to another. It's a blast. Now onto Artisan City, which was one of my favorite cities to explore, and for a good reason. Its sunflower seek must have been the catalyst for one of the most grounding cities in the game. The maze, the park, the art, I have no suspension of belief with it, and it all flows so well together. Now, this area I have the least to say on. It's basically just open fields, and was the area I spent the least time due to that. Nice breather though. Levincia is really nice with its atmosphere. It's very different and unique. I remember, like, specifically underneath the ground, there was, like, this, I don't know, just area that you could sort of explore with the water. I thought it was pretty nice and immersive. And I feel like here afterwards is when they started slowly getting rid of the linearity with the game. The construction zone-like area is almost like a playground and is one of my most well-looked back upon areas. It was so fun to look around and get lost. All the other areas of the game before Glaciero Mountain are all very nice aesthetically and induces a sense of adventure. You can feel like you're getting close to the climax of your adventure at this point, and so it doesn't keep you waiting too long until you begin your ascent up a complex and diverse mountain range with lovely music playing as you begin your climb. You can either go inside and go up by the means of the caves, or you can explore exclusively outside the mountain as you go up. It's all up to you during this last stretch. I also love how Mount Nevera so seamlessly fits into the mountain. It's one of my favorite examples of that. And finally, the bamboo forest. I don't even know where to begin. It's stunning and has dramatic sights with little to no linearity. It's the area I found myself coming to the most after beating the game, excluding Area 0, which, by the way, I won't be covering in this video, spoiler alert. It's basically an area that you need the legendary Pokemon to get the true experience for while exploring. You know, you have to climb all of these tall, dramatic, stunning cliffs, mountains, very jagged and rugged. It's all so nice and immersive, and overall, I really just love how the game just has everything very immersive. Like, everything is so immersive with the game, and I just love it. And how it's very easy to know where you are in the scope of all things. In a way, I almost feel like you don't really need the map so many times. Like, obviously, you do need the map a lot of the time, but, like, it's not, like, so necessary. Like, you could definitely get around without the map, always knowing where you are, and you could still get lost, but still know where you are. I feel like it's just such an amazing, wonderful little balance that helps elevate a person's experience while exploring the environments, and I really appreciate that about the game. And whew, that's all of it. Pokemon has really come a long way, and I wanted to show that in today's video. So, what did you think? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and any other further thoughts on the subject you may have. And I want to say once more, I'm in no way an expert on this. I have no experience in games whatsoever, and it's just me using my common sense analyzing things. But in any case, I hope this video gave you any type of further appreciation for the games, and with that said, have a wonderful day. Bye!